Well, aloha hiaka, everyone. Good. That is good morning in Hawaii. Today is October 25th, 2024, and you are with us on the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. I am your host, Peter Kay, and I want to welcome you all. I want to give you all an e komo mai. E komo mai is the Hawaiian word for welcome. Welcome. And here's what we got planned for you today. You've got YouTube chapter, so you can click ahead if you're watching this on a recorded basis. But we're going to start with some Hawaiian news and talk about that. And I've got some interesting things today about the news. You don't want to miss that. And we got some market updates. We have our friends who are going to give us an update on where the real estate market is on the islands. And of course, your questions, we've got them queued up. We got a really good one for today. You don't want to miss this one. And then we're going to go over some diamonds and deals, some great properties that we think that you'd want to know about, either diamond properties or dealers, or sometimes both. And then we're going to close with some motivational thoughts. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to warm up our microphones. Bring all the interwebs and all the internets here. And we are here with my good friends here. We have a good show today. It's going to be just us girls, it looks like. We've got Misty Padilla, who is from the Big Island. She is substituting in for Dylan today. We have our regular Heidi Dollinger, who is from Maui, and our other friend from Oahu is not with us for today, but that is man, my name just went away. Ashley, I should know that by now, but Ashley escapes me. But she did escape me. She's not here today, but she will be with us in future shows. So let's warm up and let's start with Heidi. Heidi, how are you? How is Maui this morning? How are you this morning? How's the coffee this morning?
Well, I have my morning coffee, which is a great way to start the day. It's a little bit overcast. It looks like it might rain. I mean, we've been having the most beautiful weather. I think it's going to be rainy for a few days, but when you live here full time and there's so many sunny days, a rainy day now and then is nice. And
Well, we
also,
definitely
there's
want.
going to be a new coffee harvest. So, like, they generally start harvesting the coffee around August. So, we're expecting more Maui coffee this fall. Supplies have been somewhat limited this past year. So, excited about that too. Some of my regular coffee shops, they used to always serve pure Maui coffee. And because of a lack of supply, had to switch over for a while. So, looking forward to getting the new coffee harvest in here on Maui.
Heidi, I think what just kind of flashed in my head as you were saying this, it's like, you do love your coffee and you like your Hawaii coffee, your Maui specific coffee. And I'm thinking, you're going to have to start roasting your own beans pretty soon. And, I don't know if you grind your own beans or do that. You're going to have to up the game. You have to up the game, Heidi, kind of, take that up a notch. Maybe go over to the Big Island and hang out with Misty and pick some coffee beans and then bring them on back and then roast them. I haven't done that yet either, but the thought has entered me. So speaking of the Big Island, Misty, welcome back. Good to see you. How are you doing? How's the Big Island this morning? It looks like you had a nice morning going on there. We see the reflection in the window. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me, Peter. It is a beautiful day in Hawaii. Today, I am further up Mauka, as we call it, in the Kealakekua area. I'm at the Nonaka's residence this morning, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's cold to me. In the 60s and 70s is cold. I am a Kona girl where it's very hot. So it is very nice to be here, and it's an absolutely beautiful day today. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great, and it's I guess I don't know if it's that you're lucky or not that you're cool. Sometimes like as Heidi was saying, sometimes like it's when you've had one sunny day after the next, it's good to have some rain coming in, and just like you just have one sort of hot day after the next, a cool day in the 60s now. Okay, for me, you're kind of pushing it in the 60s. 70s is all right. I here. Let me ask you this.
Cold, but it's
So
good.
right. Right. So Misty, here's a question for you. When you're in your car with the windows rolled up and you turn on the AC, what's the temperature you set the AC on in your car?
70s.
74, 76, 72.
Well, lower
What's the temperature?
70s, but first thing in the morning, I got the AC on and my seat warmers.
Well, that's okay. That's a good one. AC and the seat warmers. That is
Right. And then
that's
the
a good
kids
one.
have the windows down because they like the fresh air. And it's just, yeah, it's a nice wake up first thing in the morning. And then it has typically been raining in the latter parts of the evening, later afternoon, early evening. It has been raining. So very nice Kona weather. It's always beautiful.
Great kind of weather. So for us, our AC in the house fluctuates between, like in the bedroom when we put it on, it's like 72 or 74. It's one of those two. Sometimes 76, but usually 72 or 74. Car is the same thing, 74, 76. How about you, Heidi? When you have the AC on, what's the number that you dial in? I'm just kind of curious. What's the number that you dial into?
Around 70 degrees, but
70.
it's pretty hot out, and my driving trips are short, so it never. I'm not even in the car long enough for it to cool down.
It never makes it all the way through it never makes it down to the actual target temperature. That's the one that you want, Heidi. That's exactly it. It's like my car trips are so short, I don't even make it to wherever I'm going. By the time I make it, I'm not at that temperature. All right, great. Hey, excellent. So listen, if you're with us, great, Alex. Alex has jumped me on the gun here. Alex Packerman, aloha, everyone. Happy Friday. Alex, great to have you with us. And if you're with us, give us a shout out. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that where you're from. We'd love to hear from you, Alex. It's great. It's great that you are with us. So let's do this. Let's move on. I've got a bunch of news I kind of gathered up for today. Why don't we let's hit the news angle, and let's talk about that. All right. So we've got crappy rate hikes and other trash. Yes. So what's going on, at least in Honolulu, is there was a story that came out that the city is proposing a 124% residential sewer fee hike over the next 10 years. Man, that just doesn't come across. Maybe they need it. I don't know. I listened to I actually listened to the city podcast. Didn't get a good explanation of why they need to get the increases, but at least good enough for me. But anyway, 124%. That's just a big number, man. That maybe they should have. I don't know. They should have just phrased that some other way. It just doesn't sound good. Anyway, 120. So our sewer fees are going to go up by a lot. And they're also, on a related note, that the city is reviving the idea of shipping trash off the island. So they're looking at shipping the trash off the island for the next 10 years until they open up a new landfill. So that's going to be interesting. I guess the question I was like, well, where are you shipping it to? Where's it going to? And who's gonna take it? That's kind of it's got to be expensive. But anyway, that's that. All right. Home insurance. There are a lot of stories that are coming out about the home insurance market. A bunch of stories that are kind of plopping around about that. For example, the Honolulu City Council is considering a resolution asking the legislature to pass policies to address the high real estate, the high insurance costs for real estate. It's causing problems, making, of course, things less affordable. The drastic increases in insurance premium are really kind of hurting, especially the folks who are on condos. And it's really but Oahu's not left alone. Misty, there's a story for you. Puna homeowners live under the threat of a lava eruption, but skyrocketing insurance rates are causing many to rethink that choice. So the Puna area, the Puna district on the Big Islands, typically the lowest cost real estate is near all the lava fields, but the insurance is having its way with that. Power outages, Heidi. You guys dodged a bullet there on Maui, and I think it's a precursor of things to come. We're going to have a lot more power outages, folks. Here's why. Last week, there was when wind speeds are higher than 45 miles an hour and humidity is lower than 45%, the utility considers de-energizing the power lines. So this is a preemptive reaction now to the tragic Lahaina fires. When winds are high and humidity is low, i.e., things are dry, there's a good chance that the utility is going to turn off the power. And if it happens on Maui, it's going to happen, of course, on the other islands as well. So get ready, folks. There are going to be more power outages that have nothing to do with down power lines. It's going to be as a precautionary measure. Yeah, you better have battery backups. That's all I got to say. Get your battery backups. The Red Hill controversy. You know, if you've been following our show, you know that we covered this was Red Hill. There was some fuel storage tanks on Red Hill on Oahu, fuel storage for the Navy, and those tanks. There was indication that they were a little bit afraid that those tanks were going to be leaking. Some part of the water supply did get contaminated, but it looks like it's clean, which is good. The EPA says that the water is safe. It says that they've inspected the water, and it says that the EPA has sampled the drinking water multiple times, with results continuing to meet safe drinking water standards. I hope that's the case. I hope we're in good shape. That was kind of a scary moment there. There was the water supply where the Red Hill is a very, very central to the island of Oahu, and it would have really been a big, big problem if we had real contamination there. Finally, Hawaii is a diverse place. We all know that. We have huge diversity in Hawaii. But did you know, I just found out about this, did you know that Hawaii is home to the 1/3 of the planet's species? Hawaii is home to the highest proportions of endemic flora in the world. Endemic means it's not like it's even more than native. It means it's the only place it's found anywhere. It's endemic. So that is kind of cool. So we're our diversity is not only in our great and wonderful people, but it's also in our plants. All right, let's get back to our friends over here, and we're going to do a market update. But I want to say hello to everyone who's chiming in with us over here, and we've got Judy is back. Welcome back, Judy. We love you, Judy. You're with us. Judy is becoming a pillar member of the Islander Ohana, and I'm really glad that she's with us. And she's saying, "Hey, I'm with Misty, man. AC with the seat heater and the windows down."
Thanks,
there you
Judy.
go, man. There you go, Judy. You know, actually, it's kind of funny, Judy, that you mentioned that you all have mentioned the windows down. That this is becoming more customary in our bedroom at night. We'll have the AC on, but we'll have the sliding window open. So we got a little bit of both. Got a little bit of a cool air. We also have the nice natural weather. Michael's with us. Hey, aloha from Colorado, temporarily, then back to California. Hey, Michael, thanks for giving us the update. I'm so honored that you decided to join us from Colorado and have a good trip and enjoy. And then Bob Carlos with us. Aloha from Hawaii Kai Peninsula. Other trash. I thought it was rubbish here. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I should have said rubbish. Yeah. So it's a good point, Bob. I just did a copy and paste, man. Instead of copy and paste off the news story. News story says trash. I'm going to say trash. So thank you. Yes, it should be the local term that we use called rubbish. All right. Well, what we're not going to go over is any more rubbish. We're going to do a market update. Why don't we do this? How about if we let's get some updates on kind of what's going on. I really would like to get a feel for kind of what as you give us your report, I really want to get a feel for what the vibe is. Why don't we start with, let's go with Misty, and then we'll go to Heidi. Give us the market update. Misty, how's the Big Island, and what's the vibe like, and what's kind of going on over there?
Awesome. So as you can see on the market update that I shared, just seeing the side by side is August and September. And I included August just so you can see the numbers. It's definitely a decline. Dylan actually shared a very good market update this morning as well. And, you know, historically, we are at a low. There is a significant decline. And it's not only for our island, it is throughout the island. And the vibe right now, it is a little wonky. You know, I don't even have an exact word to pinpoint or explain how it is. We do live on an island. We are embracing all the things. One thing that is super important is even though the listings, you know, the number of listings have declined, the price is not declining. And that's super, super huge. It just seems like everyone's kind of waiting. You know, they're all sitting on their hands, whether it's the election, the rates, whatever, you name it. Everyone's kind of at a standstill right now, just waiting to see what the next move is going to be. But again, most importantly, the price in homes are not decreasing. Homes are sitting on the market a little longer, as we made mention previously. So that's kind of where you have it. You know, you do see the decrease, and I'm sure Heidi can share how Maui is as well. It is a little slow for us, but again, the price is not going down. It's only going up.
So I'm curious, Misty, the last time that you were on the show, if I'm not mistaken, we brought up this issue of kind of what do you think is going on? And one of the things that you had mentioned was like there's some people that what you've got from the people that you're talking to, some are waiting for the election to to come and go. Is that still is that kind of one of the things that people that you're kind of catching from the people that you're talking to?
Yes, indeed. Believe it or not, that's one of the huge factors. Everyone's just kind of waiting to see where, what moves happen and what direction we end up in. It's just one of those seasons. Even in social media, everything you kind of see, it's all politics right now. So it's like real estate is on hold, stock market, just kind of everything. It's a little wonky,
Yeah.
but we're embracing it,
That's the right attitude, Misty. You have to embrace it and you move on. Though I must admit, I am exhausted and I can't wait until this season is over. I hope it's, frankly, I whoever wins, I actually hope it's a landslide. I just want it to be a landslide because I want it to be definitive. I want it to be no question about who won and who lost. I hope that's the case, whoever wins. All right, Heidi, it's your turn. Speaking of winning, Heidi, it's your turn. Give us an idea. What's going on? What's the vibe? How are you feeling about what is the market update for Maui from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, the vibe it is lower here. I think people are just on vacation. Now, if you're thinking of coming to Maui on vacation, there's actually some great deals right now if you want to rent a condo. Yeah, people are just kind of waiting and watching. There are some savvy buyers who are out there shopping right now, and it is a good time for buyers. I mean, buyers have more options, they have more negotiating opportunities. So if you're a buyer with a long-term perspective, it's a pretty good time, but most people seem to be waiting. So we'll see what happens in the winter season. And I looked at all Misty's stats, and Maui, were a little bit smaller market with like less overall number of sales. We also have a lot more condominiums than homes for sale. And I mean, the condo market, especially, inventory has been increasing. I mean, we've been talking about that the last few months. So yeah, we're just chilling over here, and I know things are going to get busier again. So I'm just kind of embracing this time and getting ready, but also really paying attention to what's happening in the market because it's constantly shifting and changing. And every day, as realtors here, we're just living and breathing the market. So anyway, it's fun. That's the vibe. I didn't give you a lot of numbers, but
it's the vibe.
I mean, the numbers are all helpful, and Misty, you're the only one who takes the extra step of making a slide with the numbers on it. So God bless you on that.
It helps my brain function. I have to see it, so that's just my way.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But when a lot of times, the numbers are important, right? And but I think my brain can process maybe like 3 numbers at once before my eyes roll back into their sockets, and I can't like process any more data. But getting the vibe is fun, right? The vibe is like, okay, what's kind of going on? So here's what I'm hearing the both of you say is that things are. It seems to be a pretty good time. Actually, it's a good time. It's a good time to buy because the market has slowed down, and so there is a buyer has some leverage. On making offers, etc. That's one thing. Seems like it's not a bad time to sell either, because Misty, to your point, the prices have been maintained, so it's not like you're selling low per se. It's a good time to sell as well if you got the right sort of thing going on. So that's kind of the way I'm seeing. And you're all just kind of waiting, tentatively waiting. Yeah. What? Right. What? I get okay. I'm gonna go dark here for a moment. So I'm thinking, on this election, it's like I said, I really, really hope it's a landslide. What I'm really, really hoping it doesn't. What I'm really hoping doesn't happen is that I hope it doesn't like stretch out for like a week, right? Because the results are not in, and we don't know what's going on, and people are going to be making all kinds of accusations of who and what and whatever. And there's going to be, like a lot of unrest, and I'm praying that we don't get that. I'm praying that we don't get that. All right.
Yes, we're all praying for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're all
people
praying
seem
for
to
that.
be waiting for something to happen. The election, that's going to be something that happens. They're waiting for some change in interest rates, waiting to hear what's going to happen locally on Maui. I mean, there's a lot of reasons people are waiting, but sales are still happening. I mean, people still love Maui. Inventory by geography is limited. We're an island. So I think it's a really good time for a buyer with a long-term perspective right now. I mean, I guess you could say let's wait till everybody wants to buy, and then there's going to be more competition.
That's a
I
really good
totally
point,
agree.
Heidi.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Go ahead. Yeah. So, Misty, why do you agree with what Heidi is saying?
Well, typically island life, we are typically slower August, September, October in the islands. Rates kind of tend to go down, whether it's airfare, hotel, everyone's kind of like vacation mode. So that's really slow period in the islands is August, September, October. But Heidi, you hit it on point is right now, again, we're trying to encourage our buyers, to come to the table. And I'm not seeing many of them come even with a lower price offer. I see a lot of the homes that are staying on the market longer are probably overpriced, so it's just sitting there. But I find that sellers are not budging, to do any price drops or move. They're just kind of staying there. But at the same time, buyers are also not coming forward to present, a low or favorable offer. Everyone's just kind of at a standstill. And just like Heidi said, what's going to happen is everyone's waiting for this change to occur. And then we're going to have all the buyers come to the table all at once, and it's just going to be more competitive. You're going to have to pay higher price and bidding again the moon and the stars and all the things. It's just going to go back to where we were in the past, which is what we're trying to avoid, or at least, again, help our local people remain in Hawaii, try to get them to buy now.
It's a really good point. Thanks, Misty. That's a great way to expand on that. Heidi, the one thing that you said that kind of really stuck out at me is you said, this is a good time for someone with a long-term, this is a good opportunity for someone with a long-term perspective. Do you really want to wait until everybody else is buying too? Do you really want to wait until that time comes? And it's like, well, no, you don't. This is actually a good time to make a move. Whatever your move is going to be, this is a good time to make a move, right? Because there's fewer than others are making moves. If you are going to, and to your point, Misty, if you're going to make an offer, make a lower offer. If you don't like the price that is, and see what you're going to get. And so that was a very insightful thing to say, Heidi. So I really appreciate that. All right, I think we're going to move on, gang. Let's move on. So first, we're going to move on to a station break over here. So look, how did you get here? If you got here by getting an invite from the newsletter from livinginhawaii.com, you are good. If you did not, you want to go to livinginhawaii.com right now. You're going to get a pop-up. It's going to ask you for your email address. Pop your email address in there. You'll get the invites so that you won't miss any future shows. You'll get free content. We have photos coming out. We have articles about living in Hawaii, and that's what it's all about. So make sure you get to Living in Hawaii. And if you're joining us right now, if you've just joined us, make sure you pop it in the comments. I'd like to know who you are and where you're from. I'd like to know that you're with us. And of course, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear your questions. All right. So let's get on. So I got a good one for today for us to talk about. I really want to get your folks' take on this. So here is the big question for today, which is, how do you afford living in Hawaii? That's what I want to talk about. And here's the thing, and it's kind of funny how this ties in. What I absolutely do not want to talk about are the numbers. I don't want to hear about percentage this and percentage that, and allocated budgets for this and allocated budgets for that. Yeah, okay. There's a million. Well, actually, Living in Hawaii's got a bunch of stats on that. You can go there. We got all kinds of stuff on cost of living, all kinds of numbers and figures and facts and figures. And there's a ton of websites that talk about all that stuff. What I want to talk about is, what are the things that you do? Lifestyle changes. That's the question, right? Lifestyle changes. If you could, especially Heidi, you and I have moved here from the mainland. We've had to make some changes. Misty, you were born and raised here, but you still have to provide for your family. You still have to budget things, etc. So what do you folks do what do you folks do to kind of lifestyle changes? How do you make it work so that you can afford to live in Hawaii? Because Hawaii is very expensive. Heidi, let's start with you, and then Misty, I want to hear what how your perspective as well. Go ahead, Heidi.
Well, when I relocated to Maui, I mean, I started with very humble beginnings. I guess I've always just looked at how much I'm making per month and try to spend less than that. So, I mean, the first place we lived was very, very small condo. And I mean, even where we live now, it's nice, but for a similar price, I mean, on the mainland, depending on where you are, I mean, we could have a lot larger home, a lot larger property. Um, and yeah, I mean, you just figure out how to make it work, I guess. Um, I don't know.
Well, certainly we figure out,
particular.
yeah. Well, we certainly figure out how to make it work, right? But what would you, I mean, what kind of like value shifts, I suppose, right? Because I mean, look, okay, sure, you're going to get it. You're going to get a place to live that you can afford. Sure. When you go to the grocery store, you're going to buy the kind of food that you could afford. Sure. What kind of value shifts did you feel did you sense yourself making that you maybe lifestyles and habits that you had on the mainland, but you kind of let go of, and you've embraced a different way here? I kind of want to hear about that. I'm sure other people do too. Look, there's a bunch of people there's people everywhere around the country, around the world, who want to live in Hawaii, and everyone knows it's expensive. I'd like us to kind of give them some ideas of the things, besides the obvious things of cutting back your finances, what it's really all about, value changes that you have to make in your life. What can you share about that, Heidi? How did you change in terms of what you value, that shifted your financial habits here?
Well, I think when I was living in a city, I spent a lot more on parking, going out, uh, paying to go to concerts and going to activities. I mean, a lot of the best things about living in Hawaii are spending time outdoors and things that are absolutely free. I mean, I love paddleboarding, that's free. I just go to the beach. Um, I mean, I think my first paddleboard I actually got for free. So um, I I'm conscious about what I buy. Also, I spend a lot less money on clothes here than when I was working in a city in an office. Um, I mean, you needed coats and boots and all this outerwear and um, a lot more clothes for work and dry cleaning every week. I mean, I haven't spent money on dry cleaning for years here. I mean, of course, I buy clothes for work, but you just need less because the climate is pretty consistent all year. So, I mean, there's certain things I definitely save money on living here that I was spending money on before. What's more expensive is housing, electricity, food is more expensive. But I don't know if I have any big secrets for making it work, but I'm definitely very conscious of everything I buy and just focus on buying things I need, and not acquiring a lot of material things. Or I mean, even when I go to the grocery store, I really think about, I mean, what am I going to cook? What ingredients do I need? And I just kind of focus on that. And then of course, increasing your income is another good way to afford living in Hawaii as well. So I mean, I've had to do that. So um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is it for everybody? Well, I think the big thing I extracted from what you said, and this is the big thing, you can get by with a lot less thing. There's a lot of things that are free here that you normally have to pay for on the mainland. That's definitely a big thing. Like there's no such thing as like free entertainment on the mainland. Free entertainment is like maybe your backyard or something, but that's about it. But whereas here, there's so much more to do, and then just really learning to get less stuff. Less stuff is a big one. Misty, mom of How many children again? 10. Is it 10 children? How many? How many?
Yes, we have a big blended family of 10. Not all of them live at home, though.
They don't live, but still 10. I mean, living at home or not, a family of 10, that's a lot. You're born and raised in Hawaii, so you have a different kind of a perspective. Uh, how do you, I kind of want to hear about how you, again, what are the best things that you do that lets you make it work, that makes things, that helps ends meet? What do you focus on? And what would you tell people who are on the mainland and saying, what am I going to have to shift and what am I going to have to change if I make the move to Hawaii, because it's a different lifestyle? What's your take on all that?
Peter, that's something that we can totally elaborate so much on. Yes, I am born and raised here in Hawaii. And growing up, my parents got divorced when I was very young. And my mom just always made magic happen. She never made it feel like it was a struggle at all. Now I'm a mom with many children, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did my mom even do it? And there was just three of us. But, just like Heidi said, everyone is very different. Growing up, my mom worked multiple jobs. She just worked. And that's just how I remember. She just worked to continue to provide for us. But again, life back then was so simple. It was so simple and so amazing. Now it is a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different story. For my family, and our children, my husband, he chooses to spend time and money, on travel and memories, living in the moment. It's you only live once, but at the same time, we know, you live every day, and we're going to make the best out of it. It is very expensive. It is definitely a struggle. We have multiple jobs here. However, my family kind of collectively, we decided that instead of us trying to scale back because we do want to live every day abundantly, is now we have the mindset that we're just going to go out and we got to make more money. If we want to do the things that we want to do and not have to scale back, then we all got to get creative. Everyone needs to put their best foot forward and just go out and make more money so that we can continue to live every day fully. We use a lot of our resources, and that's super huge for my family, is, utilizing your resources. We shop local as much as we can. We shop Costco too, because everything is in bulk. We have to share meals. Everyone, splits meals, whether it's my dad cooking for the family or my husband, we all kind of just share, make the best of it. We do have very busy lifestyles as well, and we do eat on the go. And I think that is by far probably our biggest expense, is everyone just continues to eat out all the time because of convenience. So when we can sit at home and enjoy a good cooked meal, we love that and we embrace that. But at the same time, that's just kind of how our lifestyle has been, because we run multiple jobs. We have a big family. We're always spinning so many plates. Sports, too, as well, for families with children in sports, everything is so expensive. You'll see a lot of the kids always fundraising and just making ends meet. We just kind of hui together as a family and a community, and you just make it work. You just make it work. It's definitely a struggle, but again, counting it all joy, looking at, you kind of got to look at it. Is the glass half full or half empty? That's just, if we want to live in Hawaii, we have to make it work. If not, we relocate to the mainland, and then what? So that's just how it is here in the island. We love it. It is a struggle, but at the same time, this is where we choose to call home. So we just need to make it work.
That's it. You got to make it work. I think that's the big one. You have to make it work. I am curious. There's one thing, and everything you said is what you just shared is the classic sort of thing. I don't want to use the word struggle. It's the classic challenge that really all local families, not just local family, any family that lives here has to go through what they have to go through. And that's exactly it. There's all kinds of things. And at the end of the day, you have to make it work. I am curious so we got an idea from Heidi as far as the shift that she made from the mainland and here. Definitely a lot of things that's what's involved. I am curious, Misty, from your perspective, from your childhood, how has the family dynamic changed from your childhood when you were a kid in your family versus the way things are today? Now you're the mom and you've got kids. How have you seen How have you felt things change?
One word to sum it all, it's chaos.
There you go.
But I love it. If it's just never a dull moment. I never have a dull moment. I'm never bored. And of course my mom sits and looks back and she's like, how in the world do you do it? And it takes a village. It really, really does. My kids like to hear all our stories with growing up and how life was so simple back then. So I love sharing our stories with them, and I'm sure that's how our parents feel too. The same thing how our parents grew up. Like back then, they never had to worry about the things that we do now in this generation. It is so different. It is so different with the dynamics of the kids. So again, we're just growing with times, but at the same time, my goal, is to never lose that foundation that we all grew up in, so that our kids, still have that connection and still feel connected in a world that is so disconnected. That's what I always want to hold on to, is just ensure that our kids, grow up. We can't raise them like how we were back then, because yes, times are changing. But one thing for sure is they have to hold on to the culture and just not lose the disconnection in this crazy world.
Hold on to the culture. Hold on to the culture and don't lose the disconnection. Those are well said, Misty. Well said. I mean, that's actually what the whole goal with living in Hawaii is about. It's about educate folks who are coming from the mainland about the culture so they can embrace it. Hey, we got some comments from some folks, and then Ronnie is joining us. So I'm going to bring Ronnie on to get Ronnie. I want you to be thinking about like what you do. How was your shift? What did you when you made the change and you came on? What did you change to afford living in Hawaii? Just think about that. And I'm going to bring you on in a second. Let's get some comments here. So Judy says, value shifts. You don't have to have a new car. You don't need more indoor space at home, and don't put things on credit so you don't have monthly payments. Yeah, well said, Judy. Stay out of the debt bomb. Stay out of the debt bomb. That is for sure. And you just make like as Heidi said, you really could make with so much less here. Really, it's quite amazing. Clothing is one thing. Winter clothing, right, Heidi? We don't need those winter clothes anymore that we used to have. I wasn't a dry cleaner big time, but when I was on the mainland, but yeah, dry cleaning, I could see. I've been on dry cleaning for like years. And Marco is with us. Marco, aloha, everyone. Good and glad that you are here. Oh, Alex says, if I lived in Hawaii, I would enjoy the nature. Also, it's need and not wants. Yeah, that's it, Alex. That's it in a nutshell. I mean, you shift your entertainment shifts from on the mainland. You have to kind of pay for everything because you go to sports games, you pay. You go to bars, you pay. You go to restaurants, you pay. You go for entertainment, you pay. Here, you paddleboard, it's free. You surf, it's free. You swim, it's free. You hike, all those things, and that's what makes it wonderful. Mariah, don't forget to vote and make sure that you vote, and just make sure you vote for the person I want. That's the key. Make sure you vote for the one that I want, because that's what matters. Because we have to elect the president I want to have elected. Because if that doesn't happen, then things are going to be bad. Okay. Hey, Ronnie, thanks for joining us. What's your take? So the topic here is how do you afford living in Hawaii? You've moved to Hawaii from the mainland. What are the biggest value shifts? What are the biggest changes that you experience? I really want you to share with that. So there's people that are thinking about moving to Hawaii. They're on the mainland, and they know it's more expensive. But what are the things that maybe they haven't thought about or haven't realized the shifts that you will make and want to make when you move to Hawaii?
Well, my perspective or story is quite different than Misty's. I came here 20 years ago to basically detox from a computer business that I had for many years that was very stressful. And after about a year of figuring out how expensive it was, the first thing I had to learn is I actually needed to go to work because my burn rate was extraordinary. Now, having been here 20 years, when people ask us they're coming to visit, and this is kind of piggybacking on what you just said, Peter, my wife says all the best things to do here are free. The hikes, the 63 beaches. I would say after a couple decades of being here, the sense of community, being involved in so many different nonprofits for so many causes, And I think it's a question of, I have found fulfillment in doing things that don't cost me money. On the level of affordability, I think one of the main things on food is to eat healthy and go to the local farmers markets. We have them. We've not only got them every day of the week here in multiple locations, but even out in the country where I live, on my very street is like, 5-star fruit for $1, an avocado for $1 that, you couldn't find in a store because we have about 40 kinds of avocados in Hawaii. And, you couldn't say that it's not expensive here. It's expensive. If you like to golf, the best course on this island is the county golf course. And if you're a senior, you pay $48 for a monthly card for all the golf you could physically pay. I call that the best entertainment value in the entire island chain. So, you gotta kind of look for that stuff. And like the other ladies were saying, you're not going out so much, right? Because, this place closes down pretty much at 9 at night, so you're not like going out and you're not partying, early to bed, early to rise. And I think you do, you be frugal in the ways that you can be frugal. Obviously, housing is expensive in Hawaii. Here on Kauai, and probably the same on the other islands, property taxes when you live here are probably lower than any state on the mainland. Yeah, I think we pay $2.59 1,000, and plus we get exemptions for our age. So at my age, I have a $240,000 exemption as well. So that makes that particular cost more affordable. And I think that's it.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Many families pooled together. You'll see a lot of multi-generational situations here. Certainly,
A lot of that.
I've always found it interesting that the populace mix on each island is totally different, right? My understanding is the number one populace on your island, Peter, Oahu, is Japanese. The number one populace on Kauai is Filipino. So
I think it's shifted. It used to be Japanese. It's Filipino now. The Filipinos have taken over.
Oh, okay.
Have all taken over. Yeah,
okay.
Filipinos have taken over. They keep having babies. They're Catholics.
Well,
right?
you get the thing is to get friendly with them because they're unbelievable gardeners, and you can get some incredible produce, and it's usually free.
It's so funny. I just to riff on that just for a moment over here. I was fortunate enough to send my daughters to Sacred Hearts Academy, which is a girls' Catholic high school, and I don't know what the percentage is, but something like 80% of the school is Filipino girls. And so my girls and my family, and we Filipinos, man, that's where it's at. My girls love Filipino food. My girls have Filipino friends. My girls, they get, when they go and they meet Filipino families, or when my daughter was on the mainland, she ran into Filipinos and like instantly felt at home. Great people, great fun. All right. Hey, thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate that. And welcome to the show. So, hey, folks, look, if you've got some questions, this is your time. We're going to be moving on to Diamonds and Deals next year. But if you've got questions, make sure you send them in now. Because you come first, your questions come first, and then we'll take on other stuff. But while you have us, this is an Ask Us Anything show. Make sure you let us know what you'd like to know, anything about Hawaii. Anything at all, actually. So, all right, why don't we do this? Let's move on to Diamonds and Deals. So I've asked everyone to kind of put together their the properties that they would like to feature. Let's kind of click through over here and see what we've got. Is this yours, Heidi? This looks like yours.
It is, yes. This is a lovely single level home. It's on a half-acre rural zoned in Kula, Mala. The lot is large enough you could build a detached ohana, so a separate cottage if you would like. And as you can see, it has this beautiful big lanai outdoor space. And also it has a fireplace, which is pretty unique for Maui, but as you go higher up the mountain on Haleakala, the weather does get a little cooler. So it will be nice to have that fireplace sometimes. Houses don't usually have heat on Maui. You simply don't need it. But yeah, lovely single level home, 1650, and privacy with this half acre of land. You're very close to schools in the area, both public and private schools. So that's another great feature of this home as well. And you have a 2-car garage.
Wow, this looks I mean 1.6, how is this is this about right for that area, for that district? 1.6 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on half an acre? That seems like a low price, but maybe it's just because of the location and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean the home is very well priced. It's a little above, what our median price for a home was. Last month, the median price for a single family home on Maui was over 1.4. And that you can see this home is really beautiful and you get a lot of land. So
Half an
yeah,
acre. That's a lot.
it's a
That's a,
diamond and a deal.
it's a diamond and a deal. Thank you, Heidi, for hitting us with a diamond and a deal. Excellent. Neat place. Great. Let's see whose is this one. Is this yours, Misty?
Yes, it is.
What are we
Definitely.
looking at?
It's a diamond and a deal because it is anything under $1 million in Hawaii. So this is Mahilani. This is in the Kalawa area. This is where I was raised, actually. So that's totally my neck of the woods.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And it is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's priced at $870. The land area is just a little over 8,000 square feet, while the living is 1,374. Particularly, this is located right above the airport. So it's in close proximity to the airport, to schools, to shopping, all the things. And of course, elevation is lovely. Not too hot, not too cold. So yeah, this is Mahilani Drive. And again, like I said, anything under $1 million is definitely a deal.
Looks like a kind of a great family home, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Now,
It sure is.
it looks like there's 2 levels there. There's like, what's the? It seems much bigger than a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Is there something on the bottom or the top, or what's that all
Thank you,
about?
Peter, for bringing that to light. So yes, the downstairs is permitted an enclosed basement. So yes, you could use that as separate living quarters or however you decide to utilize that. And it is a 2-car garage. The driveway is a bit steep, so you got to get creative, with having to navigate your vehicles through. And yeah, this is one of, a neighborhood, again, like I said, very close proximity to everything. So it's in a very good location. Homes in these area, it's definitely priced anywhere from 8 and up. We are starting to see newer homes that have been, more newly renovated. They're over $1 million already in that area. Never, ever in my wildest dreams did I think that was going to happen growing up there. I would have told my mom, buy 10 more homes like this.
Isn't that the truth? Is there any, just for the fun of it, if do you have any numbers that you can recall from your childhood or whatever of family buying or selling homes in that area? Do you have any numbers you
Yeah, I swear, now I have to go look at it, but I swear the lot back then was like $100,000 just for the lot. And then, of course, we have, we use our resources. We're a very big family on our island and we utilize our resources. So you've got uncle who's the contractor, uncle who's the plumber and the electrician. So to put the house together and build it, I would say it's guaranteed like under $300,000.
There you go, man. There you go. That was then. Yeah. Speaking of numbers, just for the fun of it, I remember my wife and I. This was 1991, I think, 91, if I'm not mistaken. We bought a lot in Puna for $25,000, and we built a tiny house on it. And I think that tiny house was like another $25,000 or 30. It was like a really small house. It wasn't a tiny house it was like a 1-bedroom house. And I think it was like $25,000 for the house. So we were into a lot and home for $50,000. That was a long time ago.
Unheard of.
That was a long, long, long time ago. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to this is Oahu. Is this yours, Ronnie? The Hokukono Ranch, is that yours?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I don't know whose property it is. Ronnie, do you have anything you want to share? I don't think I've got a slide for you over
I
here,
saw
but
one there in the deck, a contractor special. I don't know if
yeah,
it pulls up or not.
I don't. Let me see if I could do a quick. Let me see if I could do a quick station break over here and see if I could find a con. Yeah. Oh, I see. It was hidden. Oh, it was the that was the one that you scared with us. You shared with us last time. This is the yes. All right, here we go. Contractor special. One more time. One good turn deserves another. Okay, it has been
Well,
sold yet,
first
so
I
it's a
need to say that, you know, I'm sure everyone knows that the vacation rental rules on each of these islands, each county in Hawaii, are totally unique. Kauai's have been very clearly defined for the last 16 years. And Princeville is within what Kauai calls the VDA, the Visitor Destination Area. So it's very attractive to a lot of folks from the mainland because whether you buy a home or condo there, anything that's in the town of Princeville can be short-term rented. This is a home that truly is an investor special if you have a penchant for a big, big project. You know, a lot of times people call realtors and they say, I'm looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Yeah, fixer uppers, okay. And then, I think, well, there's fixer uppers and there's fixer uppers. Now, the average price for a home in Princeville right now is 2.4 million. So, if you buy a house, and actually since we first put this up, the price has come down to 1.4 million. You can see that for an investor, there's a lot of headroom in a project like that if you've got the capacity. And that's one of the challenges, I think, Peter. And I imagine it might not just be a statewide challenge, it might be a nationwide challenge. Even if you have the affordability and the desire and it meets your needs, you got to find the people to do the work. And so I'd have to say this is a deal. I don't know that I could call it a diamond. You could say it's a diamond in the rough. Most of the homes around this on Kapiolani Loop are, over 2 million. It's very close to Queen's Bath, which is kind of a popular, dangerous tourist spot up in Princeville. And that's what I can say. I will say that even though we haven't brought it up, the changing landscape in our condo market because of increased homeowners fees due to changes in the insurance around the state have really been building the inventory. So if you're looking for a deal, that's a place where buyers can really have some leverage. 18 months ago, again, Princeville Visitor Destination Area, there were 5 condominiums for sale in Princeville, 5. Not much to choose from. As of this morning when I looked, 41. So, buyers are getting more leverage for that type of property.
Wow. Well, good luck on this one. I could imagine there's all kinds of risk involved, but with risk comes reward. If you've got the wherewithal to risk the capital and to get the resources to build it, you're looking at a property that's got an upside. A considerable upside. It's a beautiful property. Obviously, it's got a big piece of how much land area is on
That's just under 11,000 square feet.
Okay, so 11,000 square feet. That's a big. It's a big property. Well, look, Ronnie, I know that Alex likes it. Alex says beautiful property. It is a beautiful property. Kauai is my second favorite island. It is a beautiful, beautiful place, and I really enjoy our time when we go there and we visit. So thanks, Ronnie, for asking. All right. Great that you all have been with us. Why don't we do this? Let's if there's nothing else that anyone would like to kind of throw in and add over here, I do want to, one day we need to bring. I got to talk to Dylan. I want to bring on someone who knows the insurance industry sort of up and down. from a policy perspective as well. I really want to get to the root of like what's going on with the insurance industry and why. I always like to talk about the fundamentals. What are the underlying fundamentals of going on? But that's just open thoughts over here. All right, so let's kind of bring our show to a close over here. We got some closing thoughts over here. This is closing motivational thoughts. If you've got some, we'd like to hear them. And finally, yes, please bring them in. I think we're gonna. If you have a question, shoot it. I don't know if I can take it, but let's give it a try here. Let's see. So I'm gonna skip. Oh, we got okay, great. So why don't we open up? Let's open up with Misty's motivational thoughts. Misty, what is it, and how does it? Why did you pick this one for today?
Yes, Peter. So I got this from the Coup Project. They are on Instagram. Go ahead and take a look at it. They've got amazing, words of wisdom, and it's very cultural to us as well. So this one here is, your mana and aloha are sacred. Do not let others deplete what you need to thrive. And that is just so important. Every day as you live, your inner power, your strength within, and aloha is so sacred that you have to protect it. You either go and be the light and not let those with negativity, deplete what you have. And that's just so important. Again, like I said earlier, is the glass half full or empty? How are you going to look at life? So you want to be the light and be able to attract that and give that, as opposed to letting the negativity come onto you and letting them deplete you. So let your mana and aloha be magnified even more than when others are trying to drain your mana from you.
Excellent, thank you, Misty. That's a good one. That for some reason, what it reminded me on is a thing that I had caught in one of the Hawaiian books I'd read many moons ago. Talked about having a life is like a bowl of light. You have a bowl of light, and things that negative things that come into your world are like rocks that go into the bowl, and the rocks go into the bowl, and they block out the light. But all you have to do with the bowl is just turn it upside down and let the rocks fall out, and the light comes back. I don't know why I thought about that when I thought about it, but I did. Thanks, Misty, for sharing. I appreciate that. It's
Absolutely.
Great. Heidi, yeah, thank you. Heidi, what's yours, and how does it resonate with you?
A dream is just a dream until you do something. I mean, it's a very simple statement, but just about taking action and go for your dreams. That's what it means to me. And just a reminder to take action.
That's it, right? You got to do something. Otherwise, it's just a dream. You got to do something. It's just an idea, right? You gotta take action. Things don't happen unless you take action. Ronnie, I don't see a slide of yours. Did you want to just give us your words of wisdom? I didn't realize that you were in the computer industry. We'll have to have an offline conversation about that. But I was born and raised in the tech space. But what's your words of wisdom for today, Ronnie?
I'll say two things. You've given me so much time to prepare here. The first is your attitude is your altitude. And kind of piggybacking on what Misty said in terms of how we approach things. And I love the thought that, especially I guess this relates to this upcoming election, you're not responsible for what someone else does or says. You're only responsible for how you respond.
Excellent. That's right. You can't control others. Yeah, you can't control others, but you can control yourself. Or at least we hope we can control ourselves. We hope we can control ourselves, but at least you're supposed to be able to control. Thanks, Ronnie. It was great. Steve missed the show today. It's all right, Steve. They have to stream it later. Aloha, and hope you are all well. We're living in Hawaii, man. That's there's not much else to say. We have the ultimate standard. So thanks, Steve, and hope you enjoy the stream version of the show. All right, and I'm going to add as my habit, I was going to bring up some favorite things of Proverbs. Proverbs: there is gold and abundance of costly stones, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. And that is it's the lips of knowledge. It will carry you far, far, far further than gold, and jewels. If you had a choice between knowledge and gold, take the knowledge, because with knowledge you can make more gold. With gold, it's all you've got. And if you don't have knowledge, you'll probably spend the gold in a stupid way. So you definitely want to go for knowledge over gold. All right, I think that is it. Let's see. Alex has got a comment for us here. Aloha, everyone. Mahalo for all the great information, and have a beautiful weekend. You too, Alex. You too. Thanks for the great comment. Thanks for being here, and thanks for participating. All right, folks. I think I'm going to give the closing slide over here. We're going to see you in 2 weeks. And great that we're here today. And Ronnie, thanks for making it in here at the last minute. And Misty, thanks for subbing in for Dylan Nonaka, who's on a mainland trip. And Heidi, thanks for being you, Heidi. Just the reliable, always here Heidi, who's doing her thing. So why don't we say goodbye clockwise? Let's go Misty, Heidi, and then Ronnie, and say goodbye.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Be blessed, and aloha living everywhere you go.
Aloha, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and great to see everybody.
And from the beautiful Garden Island, I'll say happy Aloha Friday. Make it a great one.
There you go. Happy Aloha Friday. Make it a great one. See you later, folks. Thanks for being here. See you in 2 weeks. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.